You're tired of winging it. You sit down at the charts with hope in your chest and caffeine in your veins, but within minutes, uncertainty creeps in. You ask yourself, do I buy now? Should I wait? What if it drops? Then you blink, and your confidence is gone. One impulsive trade later, you're staring at a red screen and wondering what just happened. That's not trading, that's gambling. And it's a loop, one you've probably found yourself stuck in far too often. But here's the truth. The difference between a gambler and a consistently profitable trader isn't talent. It's not some magic strategy or secret indicator. It's a bulletproof trading plan. One that's built with real rules, real structure, and designed around your psychology, not someone else's dream setup. A real plan doesn't just tell you what to do when the market's moving smoothly. It holds you together when it's ripping your emotions apart. It gives you clarity when the noise is loud, and it reminds you who you are when fear and greed are screaming in your ears. That's what this audiobook is about. This isn't a generic checklist or copy-paste template from a trading blog. This is a deep, psychological blueprint designed to help you build a trading plan that actually works for you, your style, your lifestyle, and your mind. This plan will be more than just numbers and setups. It will be your anchor, your structure, your sanity. Inside, we're going to walk through everything, step by step. You'll learn how to define your trading identity, filter noise, create rules you actually follow, and understand your emotional triggers. We'll build risk management like it's a religion. We'll build routines like muscle memory. We'll even build a feedback system that turns losses into upgrades so you get better, not bitter. You won't just be a trader with a plan. You'll be a trader with conviction. A trader who's no longer guessing. A trader who wakes up knowing exactly what needs to be done and exactly how to do it, calmly, consistently, and confidently. Because when your plan is bulletproof, your mind becomes bulletproof too. This book is written in a direct, second-person style. I'm talking to you because I know what it feels like to be on the other side of this, and I also know what it's like to turn the corner. You're not just listening to theory. You're going to walk through this like a trader ready to transform. So whether you're just starting out or you've been in the markets for years and still feel scattered, this is your moment. This is where it begins. Let's build you a plan that doesn't just sit on paper. Let's build one that lives inside your decisions. Let's build one you can trust, even when the market goes crazy. Let's build your bulletproof trading plan. Chapter 1. Why most trading plans fail and what you're missing. You've probably heard this before. You need a solid trading plan. But let's be honest. How many times have you actually followed one? Fully, step by step, without skipping rules the second emotion kicks in. Here's the truth. Most traders have something they call a plan. A few ideas scribbled in a notebook, a strategy someone posted on a forum, a YouTube video that seemed promising at 2 a.m. But deep down, you know that's not a real plan, not one that can withstand the heat of fear, greed, boredom, revenge, or overconfidence. A real trading plan, a bulletproof one, isn't just a set of entries and exits. It's not just risk parameters or position sizing. A real plan, it's a psychological contract between you and your future self. It's built with clarity, tested with logic, and followed with emotional discipline. Most traders never get that far, but you're here, which means you're ready to go deeper than 95% of the crowd. So let's rip the Band-Aid off. Why do most trading plans fail? Because they're not designed to handle emotion. That's it. Think about your worst trade, the one you regret the most, the one that kept you up at night. Was it a strategy problem or an emotion problem? You knew what to do, but something got in the way. Maybe it was fear. You saw red and froze. Maybe it was hope, and you held past your stop. Maybe you chased, over-leveraged, doubled down, or ignored your plan completely. Emotion kills logic in real-time trading. That's why most plans collapse. Here's the secret. A trading plan is not a static document. It's a living framework. And it only becomes bulletproof when it is engineered with human psychology in mind. Yours, specifically. This journey isn't just about drawing lines or setting targets. It's about building emotional armor. You're going to create a plan that works when you're tired, angry, tempted, euphoric, discouraged, or even scared. That's what separates the pros from the gamblers. And it all starts with one foundational truth. You are not trading the market. You are trading your own behavior. That's why this isn't a technical guide. It's a psychological one. You're not here for another moving average crossover. You're here because you're tired of breaking your own rules. You're tired of feeling lost. You're tired of building castles out of hope and watching them collapse when things get real. You want consistency. You want clarity. You want to know that no matter what the market throws at you, you'll be okay. You want to sleep at night, to stop checking charts in the bathroom, to stop hating yourself after every impulsive click. And you can have that. But first, you need to understand what you're really building. A bulletproof plan has 3 core components. Clarity of process. You know exactly what to do, when to do it, and why. Emotional safety nets. Your plan protects you from your worst instincts. And daily repeatability. You can follow it even on your worst day. If even one of those is missing, your plan will crack under pressure. So let's break them down. Clarity of process means you don't hesitate. Your entry criteria are black and white. Not, maybe if RSI looks good. No, you define exact rules. Not guidelines, not vibes, rules. You know what setups you take, you know your time frames, your risk per trade, your position size, your daily max loss, your exits. It's mechanical, almost boring. That's the goal. Emotional safety nets are where psychology kicks in. You build in protections against yourself. That means automation, pre-written journaling scripts, circuit breakers, timeouts, emotional checklists, daily reviews. You remove the decision-making burden when you're most vulnerable, because when your heart is racing, logic is gone. And finally, daily repeatability. This is what 99% of traders miss. It doesn't matter how fancy your plan is. If you can't follow it consistently, it's worthless. You need a process you can execute when you're distracted, tired, frustrated, or bored. Because trading isn't about your best days, it's about surviving your worst ones. So here's your first assignment. I want you to sit down and ask yourself one brutal question. Can I follow my current plan on my worst emotional day? Be honest, because if the answer is no, then it's not a bulletproof plan yet. But don't worry, that's what we're going to build together, step by step. Over the next 14 sections, I'll guide you through every layer, from designing clear setups to embedding emotional safeguards to building rock-solid habits that actually stick. You won't need to rely on willpower anymore. You'll have a system that thinks for you when you can't think straight. And that's the trader's superpower. You've already made the hardest move, showing up. Now let's get to work. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Structure. Why Rules Set You Free. Let's get something straight. Rules don't trap you. They free you. Most new traders rebel against rules. You want freedom. You want flexibility. You want to react to what you feel in the market. You want to improvise, to read the room, to catch that move just in time. But that mindset is a trap. It feels like freedom, but it's just chaos dressed in opportunity's clothes. Here's the truth. Structure protects you from the version of yourself that shows up under stress. Let me explain. There's a version of you that's sharp, calm, logical, the ideal trader. This version plans ahead, follows the system, sticks to the stop, sizes correctly, journals, reviews, adjusts, improves. And then there's the other you. The one that shows up when the market suddenly spikes against you, when the red candles pile up, when your P&L flashes a number that triggers panic or greed, when you're down for the week and you just need to make it back. That version of you doesn't want to follow rules. That version wants revenge. That version believes this time is different. That version is desperate. And desperate traders bleed accounts. So we build structure. Not because we're robots, but because we're human. You need rules, real ones, written down, rehearsed, embedded. Not because you're weak, but because your brain wasn't designed for this game. Evolution didn't prepare you for staring at flashing numbers and controlling your survival instincts. When you're trading, your amygdala, the primal part of your brain, lights up like fireworks. It screams, do something, fight, run, grab it back. And unless you have a plan in place, a structure that takes over, you will obey that voice every time. Rules are what give you something stronger to follow. They give your prefrontal cortex, your rational brain, a map, a checklist, a lifeline. Structure isn't a prison, it's a lifeboat. So let's make this real. Ask yourself, do you have a written entry checklist? Do you know exactly what time frames you trade and which you avoid? Do you have a max daily loss and what happens when it's hit? Do you journal every trade, not just the winners? Do you track how you feel before and after a trade? Do you have a shutdown ritual when things go off the rails? If you don't worry. Most traders don't. But here's the magic. Once you start adding structure, everything gets easier. You stop second-guessing your trades. You stop chasing because you know exactly what you're waiting for. You stop over-trading because the plan says when to stop. You stop blowing up because your risk cap kicks in before emotions do. Structure brings clarity, and clarity kills confusion, the most dangerous emotion in trading. And I know what you might be thinking, but what if the market changes? What if I miss an opportunity because I followed the plan? Good. You're supposed to miss trades. Let that sink in. Missing trades is part of the game. You will always miss trades, but what you gain is more powerful, consistency. And consistency is the only thing that compounds. You don't need to catch every move. You need to catch your moves. The ones that fit your plan. The ones you can repeat without hesitation. The ones that don't leave you drained, guessing, or angry afterward. When you trade with structure, you create space between stimulus and response. That's where control lives. And control is where confidence begins. You'll start to feel it, not just in your P&L, but in your posture, in your breathing, in the way you show up every day. No more twitchy click trading. No more begging for luck. You sit down, you know your plan, you follow it, you walk away. And you own the outcome, win or lose. That's the kind of trader you're becoming. But building structure takes effort, real effort. You'll have to slow down. You'll have to write things out. You'll have to be honest about your bad habits. And yeah, it might feel boring sometimes, but boring is beautiful in trading. Boring means you've removed chaos. Boring means you've mastered repetition. Boring means you've built something reliable. So, here's your task for today. Start writing your rules. Start simple. Don't overthink it. What setups will you trade? What time of day do you avoid? What is your risk per trade, down to the decimal? What's your emotional red flag checklist? This is your foundation. And once it's in place, we can build the rest of the plan step by step into something you can trust with your money, your mindset, and your long-term growth. You don't need to trade everything. You need to trade one thing. Well, repeatedly, without hesitation. And that begins with structure. We're just getting started. Chapter 3. Designing your setup. The power of one perfect trade. Let's strip this down to something simple but powerful. You don't need 10 different setups. You don't need to chase 5 markets. You don't need to jump from trend trading to scalping to swing trading in the same week. What you need, what will change everything, is one perfect trade. That's it. One setup that you understand like the back of your hand. One play you can run 100 times and never get confused. One pattern that matches your personality, your time commitment, your risk tolerance, your emotional triggers. You're not trying to be a superhero in the market. You're trying to be consistent, predictable, professional. And that starts with designing a setup that fits you, not the influencer you follow or the guru who trades full-time in Bali. So let's build that setup together. Here's what a real, usable, bulletproof trading setup includes. Market environment: trending, ranging, volatile, quiet. Time frame: are you trading on the 1-minute, 15-minute, or daily? Trigger conditions: what signals the actual entry? Entry method: where do you click the button, market or limit? Stop loss placement: where is your exit if you're wrong? Profit target or exit criteria: when do you get out if you're right? Risk per trade: how much are you putting on the line? That's your blueprint. You don't move forward until each piece is defined. Now, let's go deeper, because this is where most traders mess it up. You've probably seen a pattern that works. Maybe it's a breakout, maybe a pullback, maybe it's supply and demand zones. But here's what no one tells you. It's not just about what the pattern looks like. It's about when and how it shows up. For example, a breakout in a choppy range is a trap, but a breakout in a strong trend with a clean retest, that's a high probability play. So your setup isn't just the pattern, it's the context around the pattern. That's what separates amateurs from pros. Let me ask you this. Have you ever taken the same pattern 5 times and had 5 totally different outcomes? That's not a setup problem. That's a context problem. And that's why your setup needs a full checklist. Something like, price must be above 50 EMA on the 15-minute and 1-hour charts. The previous swing high must have broken with volume. I only take this setup between 9:45 and 11:15 a.m. EST. I don't trade the first breakout. I wait for a retest. That's a setup with depth. That's a setup you can trust. And once you define your one perfect trade, you backtest it, you journal it, you rehearse it, you take screenshots, you build muscle memory. You own it. So let me say it again, because it matters. One perfect trade can build your account. Not 10, not 20. 1. When you stop chasing everything and start mastering one thing, you unlock a level of confidence that most traders never reach. You're no longer guessing. You're executing. You're waiting like a sniper, patient, focused, disciplined. You know your moment, and when it comes, you strike. Clean, calm, controlled. Let me give you a truth bomb. Discipline isn't hard when you love your setup. When your trade makes sense to you, when it aligns with how you see the market, following the rules feels natural. You don't want to deviate. You want to wait. You want to protect your edge because that trade becomes yours, not someone else's, not a strategy you borrowed. It's your craft. That's the trader you're becoming. Now, here's your task for today. Design your one perfect trade. Open a blank page and write this at the top. This is the one trade I will master. Then answer these questions. What market will you trade? Forex, futures, crypto, equities? What time of day will you trade it in? What must be true before you enter? What does the setup look like visually? Where's the ideal entry? Where's your stop? Where's your target or exit plan? What's your maximum risk per trade? Write it, refine it, make it real. You're not trying to win every day. You're trying to make one high-quality decision, one good trade at a time. That's how pros think. That's how pros survive. And when you nail this, when you truly trust your setup, everything gets lighter. The anxiety fades. The revenge trades disappear. You stop caring what others are doing because you know your play. You know when it shows up. You know when it doesn't. And you have the discipline to walk away when it's not there. That's trading maturity. And it starts with the one perfect trade. So keep building. We're stacking bricks. Each one matters. In the next section, we're going to take your setup and build a full risk management system around it, one that protects your account and your psychology like armor. You're doing the hard work, and it's going to pay off. Section 4. Risk management is emotional management. Here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. Most traders don't blow up because their setup is wrong. They blow up because their risk is wrong. It's not the trade that kills them, it's the size. It's not the market that ruins them, it's the overconfidence. It's not the red candle that wrecks the account, it's the refusal to take a small loss before it becomes a disaster. So let's have a real conversation, one that most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. Risk management is not about numbers, it's about emotions. When you risk too much, it's not just your account that's exposed, it's your mind. You start doing things you swore you'd never do. Think about it. How different do you feel when you risk 1% versus 10%? At 1%, you can breathe, you can think, you can follow the plan. At 10%, you're sweating before you even click. Every tick feels like life or death. You're glued to the screen. You check your phone in the middle of dinner. You whisper, "Please, just come back." That's not trading. That's gambling with anxiety. And that's why this section matters more than any technical lesson you'll ever learn. Because no setup will save you if your risk is wrecking your psychology. So let's start with a foundation. Your number one job as a trader is not to make money, it's to protect your ability to trade tomorrow. Let that settle. Your edge is only powerful if it's alive next week. Your plan only matters if you can execute it consistently. That's why capital preservation isn't just a risk rule, it's a mental performance enhancer. Now let's get specific. Here are the 3 pillars of real-world, emotionally intelligent risk management. 1. Risk per trade, the safety valve. Set a fixed percentage you're willing to lose on any single trade. Not maybe, not sort of, fixed. For most traders, that number should be 0.5% to 1% of total equity. Not because it's safe, because it keeps your nervous system stable. At 1%, you can lose 5 trades in a row and still show up clear-headed. You don't spiral, you don't start doubling down, you don't destroy months of work with one bad afternoon. Ask yourself, how much can I lose on a trade and still sleep tonight? That's your number. Be honest. Your plan must be designed around it. 2. Daily max lost, the emotional fire break. This is your hard stop for the day, your circuit breaker. If you hit it, you're done. No just one more. No, let me win it back. Shut it down. Walk away. A smart daily max loss is usually 2 to 3% of your account. That gives you room to take a few losses, but not enough to spiral. Why does this matter? Because losing streaks aren't just financial, they're psychological hurricanes. You stop thinking, you start reacting, you go from focused to frantic. Your daily max loss protects you from your worst self. And here's the rule. You define it before the day starts, and you follow it no matter what. That's non-negotiable if you want to last in this game. 3. Position sizing, the confidence multiplier. Most traders size backwards. They enter a trade, then they guess how many contracts or shares to take. That's backward. Real risk management starts before you enter by using this formula. Risk per trade divided by stop-loss distance equals position size. Simple, mechanical, repeatable. If your stop is 20 points and you're risking $200, you take 10 contracts. Done. No guessing, no emotion, just math. And here's the best part. When you size this way, something powerful happens. You stop panicking. Because no matter how volatile the trade is, your risk stays constant. You know exactly what you're risking before you enter, and that clarity gives you confidence. Now, let's be real for a moment. This isn't glamorous. There's no dopamine rush in talking about risk per trade. There's no excitement in walking away after 3 losers. But you know what is exciting? Staying in the game. Waking up without fear. Knowing your drawdowns are survivable. Growing an account slowly, steadily, with compound confidence. That's the real flex. The flashy trader who's always posting wins, he's quiet on the losing days. He's emotional. He's on the edge, and he'll disappear the moment the market turns. But you're building something sustainable, something scalable, something that survives the storm. So let me say it clearly. Your trading plan is only as strong as its weakest risk rule. Even with a perfect setup, even with a clear edge, if your risk is unstable, your emotions will break the system every time. So here's your mission. Write your personal risk policy right now. Risk per trade, blank percent. Max daily loss, blank percent. Position sizing method, blank. What happens when I hit my daily loss? Be specific. This is your shield. Tattoo it to your process, because this is how you make trading boring, and boring is where the money grows. Next, we'll go even deeper into the part most traders ignore until it's too late. Section 5, Emotional Triggers and How to Beat Them Before They Beat You. You're doing what 95% won't, and that's exactly why you'll make it. Chapter 5, Emotional Triggers. How to Beat Them Before They Beat You. Let's talk about the real enemy now. Not the market, not volatility, not bad luck, not even losing trades. The real enemy is you. Specifically, the version of you that gets triggered. The one that takes over your mouse hand. The one that hijacks your thinking, overrides your plan, and whispers, "This time is different. Just do it." You know that voice. We all do. It's the voice of fear, of greed, of ego, of revenge, of anxiety. And it does not care about your trading plan. It doesn't care about your strategy, your setup, or your stop loss. It just wants relief. Relief from uncertainty. Relief from pressure. Relief from the uncomfortable emotions that trading always brings. If you want a bulletproof trading plan, you must go deeper than rules and setups. You must build awareness around your emotional triggers and develop strategies to neutralize them before they sabotage you. Because once you're triggered, it's already too late. So let's break this down. What is an emotional trigger? An emotional trigger is any internal or external condition that pulls you out of your logical, rule-following self and pushes you into reactive behavior. In trading, these often look like, "I just took 2 losses. I have to make it back." That move happened without me. I'm jumping in now. This setup looks a little off, but I don't want to miss it. I'm on a hot streak. I can go heavier on this one. I can't believe I cut that winner early. Let me re-enter. These are patterns of thought that don't just happen once. They happen again and again and again until you recognize them and learn to respond differently. The 5 most common trading triggers. Let's make it real. Here are the 5 emotional triggers that wreck most traders, and how to spot them. 1. The revenge trigger. I need to get it back. You take a loss, and instead of processing it, you take it personally. You re-enter too soon. You double size. You break every rule. Response plan. Walk away for 15 minutes after every losing trade. Journal the loss immediately. Label it routine or revenge. Only re-enter after writing out your next setup in detail. 2. The FOMO trigger. It's moving. I have to get in now. You see a big candle. You feel left out. You jump in without confirmation. No setup, no plan, just impulse. Response plan. Write this rule. I do not chase, ever. If it's moving, it's already gone. Review past charts where chasing failed. Feel the pain. Anchor it. Create a checklist before every trade. No checklist, no trade. 3. The ego trigger. I know better than the plan. You start winning, you feel smart, you stretch your size, you skip steps, you override stops, then the market humbles you. Hard. Response plan. Commit to fixed size, even on winning streaks. Celebrate process, not profits. End green days after hitting your profit goal. Lock it in, walk away. 4. The doubt trigger. This setup looks good, but what if it fails? You hesitate, you freeze, you miss the trade, then you chase the next one out of frustration. Response plan. Rehearse your setup visually over and over. Use if-then language. If X, then I take the trade, period. Accept loss as a cost, not a failure. 5. The tilt trigger. Everything's going wrong. I'm done. You spiral. You're frustrated. Nothing makes sense. You force trades just to feel something. This is where traders blow up. Response plan. Hard rule. Stop trading after 3 consecutive losses. Take a walk, breathe, reset. Journal with the prompt, what's the story am I telling myself right now? How to build a personal trigger map. You're not going to fix emotional triggers overnight, but what you can do is build a trigger map, a personal tool that identifies your patterns before they control you. Open a document, create 3 columns: situation, emotion, behavior. Took 2 losses, frustration, revenge trade. Missed a move, FOMO, chased next trade. In profit early, euphoria, increased size. Now go through your journal, your screenshots, your emotional logs. Fill it in honestly. This is your psychological mirror. The more you study it, the more power you gain. Because the goal isn't to eliminate emotions. That's impossible. The goal is to build systems that catch you when emotion starts to rise. Create your emotional stop loss. Here's your task for today. Define your emotional stop loss. It's the point where you must step away. Write it down. If I take 3 losing trades, I walk for 30 minutes. If I feel panic or anger, I shut my platform and journal. If I'm trading outside my hours or setup, I'm done for the day. Treat this like your monetary stop. No debate, no negotiation, no just one more. This rule alone can save your account and your sanity. Because emotional triggers don't ruin traders instantly. They wear you down slowly. They create cracks, and then one day they collapse everything. But now you're prepared. You've looked those triggers in the eye. You've built a system to catch them. You've armed yourself with awareness, and that's power. In the next section, we'll build on this with something even deeper, the internal dialogue that shapes how you act and feel during every trade. Section 6, The Voice Inside, Mastering Self-Talk for Mental Clarity. You're becoming more than just a trader now. You're becoming a self-aware operator, and that changes everything. Conclusion. So here you are. You've walked the full path. You've explored the raw psychology behind trading decisions. You've built your framework piece by piece. Your strategy, your edge, your risk plan, your rules, your daily routine. You didn't just create a plan on paper. You crafted a system you can live by. This isn't just theory anymore. It's yours now. Your bulletproof trading plan is no longer a dream or a download from some random blog. It's the result of thinking, reflecting, and committing to something stronger than impulse. You've created a tool that protects you from emotional chaos and gives you a clear, repeatable process for making real, grounded decisions. And the most powerful part? It evolves with you. You'll tweak, you'll adjust, you'll review and refine. That's part of being a trader who's serious. You no longer chase trades, you wait for them. You no longer ask, what should I do now? Because your plan already told you. Remember, trading isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up with a process that keeps you calm in volatility, disciplined in temptation, and focused when everyone else is panicking. And now, you've got that process. Now listen, if this journey helped you in any way, even just one piece that clicked, one shift in how you think, one sentence that made you pause, then I've done my job. Because this content was created for you, not the internet, not the algorithm, for the real trader behind the screen who's tired of confusion and ready to take control. If you want more videos like this, more real trading psychology, more honest guidance, more deep dives that go beyond surface-level tips, then hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, don't wait. This channel is built to help traders like you build long-term skill. No hype, no fluff, just real talk, real mindset, and real tools. And if something stood out to you in this video, I want to hear it. Drop a comment below. Tell me what hit home. What was your biggest aha moment? What are you going to change in your trading starting today? Or hey, if you're stuck on something, write that too. I read every comment. I respond when I can. And your question might just become the topic of the next video. We're building a real trading community here, one trader at a time. No egos, no noise, just growth. So thank you for watching, for listening, and for staying with me through this full journey. Now, close this video, look at your plan, and start trading like someone who's no longer hoping, but executing. You've got your bulletproof plan. Use it. Trade well, trade smart, and stay emotionally sharp. I'll see you in the next one.